Hello, welcome to Seven Miss Designs. Glad to have you back today. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I actually decided that I wanted to upgrade the current tool sets that I have, and after much debate, lots of research, and lots of feedback, I decided to go for the Happy Dotting Company's tools. Now, before I crack these open and give them a test, this is what I've been using currently. I have an assortment. And originally this was from something like those $20 sets that you can get off of Amazon here in the US. I don't particularly like a lot of them. These tools here, and I've only got two in front of me because the larger ones, honestly, I just put away. They are not made for dotting. They're made for clay, i.e. the weight of these. So they're kind of unwieldy to constantly hold and to dot with. The other thing is that these are measured at the diameter here along the midpoint, so that when you press them into clay, you'll know what kind of indent you'll be getting. However, we're never going to be able to touch the surface with this midpoint of the dot. So the sizing is a little bit off and a little inconsistent as far as I'm concerned. And I don't much like that. Again, in addition to the fact that they're so heavy. These are the ones here, the rods, the largest of them. I've marked the sizes here for myself. So I have a 15, a 12, and a 10. And again, they're just really uncomfortable. They're so huge, I feel like a kindergartner with those gigantic crayons that they use, just stamping along. So I don't use them very much. Unless I kind of have to, I don't. These ones are my go-to here. These smaller ones. They're much lighter and they really do feel more like a pen or pencil in your hand to dot with. They chip so easily. The bottoms of these, and I do take very, very good care of my tools. I wipe them clean and keep them in a nice area. I'm not banging them around. I've had these for almost 2 years now, and I think they're in pretty darn good shape for being 2 years old, except for the cracks and chips along the edges here. You may not be able to see it too clearly on camera. However, you just run your nail across and they're jagged. One side is obviously a little bit better than the other one, but they're not quality tools, let's be honest. The whole set was 18 bucks, so they're probably 10 cents to make. And the other part of that is these. I love my nail tools. I really do. And I don't think that I'm ever going to give them up. However, on these dotting tools, there really only is 6 sizes, because all of the size on this end, these are all 1.5s, and the other end are going to be the actual sizes. So the 3, and the other odd part is they're not equal sizes. So we have a 3 with a 1.5. We have a 2.6, then a 2.1, and then we go down to a 1.5. A 1.5, with again a 1.5 on the other end. So not a huge range of sizes. And that was one of my bigger quote unquote complaints when it came to using these so often, is because like the 2.1 and the 2.6, were so close in size. Then you went up to a 3 or you went down. There's really not much room for anything in here. To illustrate that point, I did go ahead and just drop all of those tools that I just showed you straight down here. Not a huge size difference. Really, really not. And I'll tell you, the ones up here, these were the first 3 tools, the largest of the acrylic rods. Couldn't even get a straight dot. Seriously, I felt like a caveman. It stuck to my paper, the lightest touch that I could manage, and it's still a mess. All right, so I'm gonna scoop this off, and I'm gonna get these open because I have been looking at these for a day or two now, and I'm ready to dive in. Okay, let me get this open. first thing to notice, very, very obviously, is the corners here. They do have the 3 sides, which currently, this is how I handle my tools. I have a washcloth here, and I lay them down and to make sure that they don't go rolling away. Doesn't look like I'm gonna have to worry about that much with these. Now this one in particular does seem to roll a little. Looks like it must have a little more of a rounded edge. One of the things that I liked most about this set was the range of sides. They're double-sided. So this is the first one, 1.5 and a 2. The one thing I noticed right offhand is these are feather light. I like that. The edges should be sharp still. This is the half. Ooh, nice point. I like that. I use the 1 and the 5s. I use those sizes a lot with what I do. And then there is included the round tipped. Now this is going to be an S2 and an S4, which, see, this is a 3. So it's larger than a 3. I bet that's going to be equivalent. No, actually, it's a little bit bigger than a 1.5 and larger than a 3. But I don't have any comparable. 2.5. This one would be a 2.1-ish. Okay, so to kind of give you an idea of what S2 and S4 might actually be. This is one tool that I wanted to check out. This is the ellipse here. And it certainly does remind me of the tip of an eraser, little erasers that you add to the end of your pencils once yours have worn off. I've never done anything with this shape before, so I'm interested to see what that looks like and try this out. For the rest, it has a little bit of a lip here on these sizes. It looks like that starts with the 7.5 and the 8. There's just a little bit of a lip there, which I'll be interested to try. But my goodness sakes, this is a 15.5. This one here is my 15. The weight difference just with the acrylic rod, and these are the, quote unquote lightest here, is immense. And the fact that, look at this, I can actually wrap my hands around this like a pencil. It isn't unwieldy to use on a 15, as to where this one, I can't quite get my fingers here around it. And again, I feel like I should be cavemanning this thing. So that, I think, is going to make a huge difference in how I'm going to be able to use the larger dots and the larger sizes. I have my paper here, and what I'm going to do is, I've got this purple color that I just dropped in here, and who cares what it is. I'm going to go ahead and test out the tools a little bit. I'm just going to take each and every one of these tools and give me a dot. All right, I'm going to stop here just after I've done the first 4, and I tell you, it's already making a huge difference. With these, I see immediately now what that line is for. That's going to be your paint line. That's going to be where you're going to dip. I did even try with this one a little bit. I made sure that that's what it was, because I was just sort of, dipping to my own drum here. Just sort of what I was used to. But then I specifically made sure to go right up to that line and then do this one and this one, and then come out really great. I mean, there's no deviations in the sides. Like you can see here with the other ones, just because of the weight, this one actually slipped. The sides are a little bit funky. This, not at all. And it goes down smoothly. Like I said, you're holding it just like a pencil, so there really isn't any awkwardness. I didn't have quite enough paint on that one because I double it. But so far, I like the large sizes. I think this is going to make a tremendous difference. And then this little lip here, that you could use sort of as a paint guide. I love that. That's going to be really great for a beginner especially, who may not quite yet have a handle on where and how to dip these tools. As I get down to the smaller size, the 4.5 and the 5, the other thing I did want to double check sort of is to see how they felt with walking. Not too bad. Personally, again, just flat personal opinion, I typically do not like to walk dots with a flat tool. I like to walk my dots with the rounded tools just because of the way that the paint falls off of the rounded tools. I have found, at least with the current set, walking dots with the flat edge tools, paint seems to come off a little bit quicker or in a slightly different method, and easily starts to degrade the look of the dot the farther you walk it. And again, that's just personal, and that might be just me, but I can load these up pretty well here. And they do even feel better coming down the line of dots than the acrylic rods do. Okay, so now we're down at our 3.5 and 4. Should get that one a little backwards. I started with 4. See, now that kind of stuff, I didn't load it up like you normally would, but that's just going down the line. And instead of the dot just getting smaller and fading on into oblivion, you get these little funny stamp prints, I guess you'd say. I still continue to use the other tools just for that purpose. Now we're getting into the smaller ones, the ones that really have more of a pointed tip. This is the 2. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's do the 1 here. I loaded that one up a little extra. And now we'll get into these ones here. These are the 2 smallest ones with a real sharp point. Really beautiful points. And with the material that these are made of, I don't have any doubt that they'll stay nice and sharp. Look at that. Look at those beautiful itty bitty tiny ones. I'm impressed by those. I'll definitely use this one a lot. This one actually might be sharp enough here for my uses to use for swooshes. Okay, now onto these ones, the S2 and the S4. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure the total measurement of the S2 and the S4. Let's make sure just to coat this one here. Very, very similar to the nail tools. Nothing wrong with that at all. Those are my favorites. Try that again. There. Pretty. Yeah. And then let's take a look at these, E4 and E7. So let's try the larger. Like I said, I've never done the ellipse before, so let's kind of see what this looks like. Interesting. I could definitely see some good petals coming out of this. I can see some other designs where the shape might be interesting, and maybe some of those sections where you may not know for exactly sure what you want to do. There's kind of a little bit of a space or a little bit of a goof up, and you kind of have this weird little spot that you want to stick something in. Yeah, those are kind of cool. And then let's go to the E4 side of it. These ones are a little chunky monkeys. These are cute. I like these. They're little ovals. They're not quite elongated as the other ones, and they are a little bit fatter. Look at these. These are super cute. The first thing that comes to mind for me when I do these are like the little eyeballs of those cartoon characters, things like that. Yeah, I think I can figure out some real cool uses for these little guys. Okay, so amazing. Okay, now I'm not gonna say that I'm sold 100% forever and ever amen on these particular tools. However, I can say, take a look at this. This right now is the entirety of the assortment that I have. These are all the dot sizes that I currently use. That's it. This right here is all of the others. Okay, so I've got this whole line here. Then I've got the smaller tools, plus these and the nuances. So already this has more than doubled what I already used. And actually, I'm gonna say probably tripled, because let's be honest, these three here, the first three, I don't use these at all. You know, we talked about that. I don't like being caveman, all right? I don't. The other ones, I actually don't use much of, which are these four here. I don't use these much either, because these are the round clay balls, right? So right now, my primary are just these. So 8, essentially, 8 sizes. And now I've got all of these. There are 16 tools that are double-sided. So now I've got all these other options. So this on its own is fantastic. As I'm going through on the tools, I do just have a old washcloth here that I wet, and I just, each time I dip, I just wipe the tools off, and the tools retained nothing. They have such a smooth surface. I don't know if this is plastic or kind of a silicone. Nothing sticks to them. And I know that these are going to stay that way for a very long time. So I would definitely suggest that if you're going to use these type of tools as well, and especially, make sure that you're wiping them off constantly. You know, just take that extra quick second and wipe them off. And I think these are going to do very, very well for a very, very long time. All right, so let me bring this stack back over, a little bit loud as it is. Now, as you can see, it's not 100% roll proof, right? And they're kind of moving a little. But I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about them running off anywhere. But thank you so much for joining me today. I do wanna say that this was a purchase of my own accord. I was not contacted by nor sponsored by Happy Dotting Company to do these, but I certainly do enjoy them. And I do believe that I will be continuing to use these now and for quite a while to come. Thank you so much for joining me today. I certainly do appreciate it. You take care and have a great one.